Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. I'm thrilled you're here today. Let's get started. Hey everybody, I'm Belinda Sandor. Welcome to Lessons from the Cockpit. I'm thrilled that you're joining me. If you are new to us, because I know we've added a lot of new people to our community lately, I am the founder of the VA Connection, where I coach and mentor established and aspiring virtual assistants to create, grow, and scale their virtual assistant business. And I work with my students in my free online community, courses, and coaching programs. And today I'm going to be your host for Lessons from the Cockpit, my weekly live stream show that airs every Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to be sharing tactical and practical information in each episode. And these episodes are for you if you're just starting out or you've been a VA for a while. So I'd love to hear where you're coming in from. So please let me know in the comments. I can see you guys pouring in. We are streaming live everywhere. We are in multiple locations on Facebook. We are also on LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, I would love it if you would click the subscribe button and ring the bell so that you can be notified every time we go live. We have tons of free trainings and you really don't want to miss them. So go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell. All right. So welcome. Today we're going to talk about what to do when it's sort of just too much. But before we dive in, let me introduce myself and let me know where you're coming in from. So it looks like a lot of you are here already. So that's fabulous. Okay. And also let me know if there's any questions that you have around this topic so I can answer them. Okay. Good. So this is me and my daughter, who I'm very excited I'm going to see on Thursday. Back in 2010, when I was just starting my VA business, and my life had taken, I guess you could say, an unexpected turn. I was not where I wanted to be. I was just about to turn 50, and I know a lot of us are planners, so we have this whole idea of like the big 3-0, the big 4-0, and the big 5-0, and I had goals that I had set for myself all along the way. I've always been like that. But 50 was a big one because here was the plan. And it sounded pretty good. Happily married, financially stable, really good job, own my own home. I have a family, all the things. And instead, though, what I was facing as I was sliding into 50 was getting divorced, selling my home, hadn't been able to pay the mortgage for a year. I had 7 years of back taxes, which if you really want to experience stress, that's a good way to do it. Didn't have a job, had a business that failed. And I literally didn't have a place to live. I mean, we figured it out, but it was really stressful because back then the housing market was insane. There were no rentals. There were no rentals at all. And I had to figure it all out because of because I wanted to take care of Emily, and there was no big pile of money somewhere. There was nothing to rely on. And finally, the thing is that I had to, this is when I turned to my inward and started to rely on myself, because I always thought someone was coming. Someone's coming. I'm going to be saved in some way. I don't know who I thought was coming, but I was always looking outside of myself. And I realized that that wasn't going to happen. And I needed to return to my roots, to what I knew. And so I decided that instead of getting a job where I was going to get a 1 or a 3% increase every year, that I was going to start my own business. And I was going to go back and I was going to offer admin solutions for, I didn't even know who back then, but it turned out to entrepreneurs. And the thing is that, I, like a lot of you, when I first started out, I was prospecting for clients. I was thinking the same things a lot of you are thinking, like, I'm going to walk down the street and I'm going to tell all the business owners and I'm going to make a flyer, and all of those things just don't move the needle when you're starting a business. It's really all about spreading the word in the way that I've taught you guys, over the years, and making sure that everybody knows about your business in a clear, simple way. And so I'm at the school bus stop. I'm there every single day for years, right? And one of the dads says to me, what's new? And I said, well, I'm starting this business. I want to support entrepreneurs. These are the kinds of things I know how to do. and he hired me. I thought he had a job. He did not have a job. He had started a business a couple months before and was drowning in QuickBooks and keeping his inbox cleaned out and, installing software and running errands and paying his bills. And I love doing that stuff. So it was a natural fit. And then the next client I got at the buffet line of a wedding, standing in line, holding my plate and making chit chat. He asked me, what do I do for work? I told him. And a couple months later, this was funny because I connected with him on LinkedIn, which felt like a huge risk because I thought that anyone that I connected with on LinkedIn, they were going to think I wanted something from them. Like, that's kind of crazy, but I bet some of you feel that way too. When you tell someone about your business or when you connect with them on social media or ask for their email address, you're probably thinking that they're thinking, what does she want? What is she doing? Like, why would she ask me for that? Right. So we have to get past that. So I connected with him on LinkedIn. A couple of weeks later, I get a message and it says, can you help me with, actually, this is a correction. I was telling the story wrong. He corrected me. His name is Michael Katz, and he spoke at our conference a month ago today. And I told the story and we had dinner together later. He was like, that's not exactly what happened. So what happened was he asked me, did I know anyone that could help him with an event? And I said, me, which was probably felt really bold. And so we started working together. But the thing about it is that stop prospecting for people. Just tell everybody you know what you're up to, and they're going to naturally select themselves and come to you, right? Come to you. Yeah. And Tammy says, we are the solution to these problems because, we walked through that when we started our business. That's right. That's right. So if you create your own business and set it up as a business, you're going to learn a lot about what it takes to run a service-based business. And then you're going to be able to help them as well. And there's a ton of information about this over on our blog. So check it out at thevaconnection.com/blog. All right. So the takeaway is you're not going to know where the clients are going to come from. Good. All right. So I leaned in, I changed my mindset. I started keeping my word to myself. I stepped out of my familiar comfort zone and I built a business earning $70,000 the first year and $100,000 a year for the next 10 years. And the systems that I developed and the methods that I use to build my own virtual assistant business are what I teach at the VA Connection. And I would love to teach you too. Okay, so it's a different picture today. Let me tell you, this is what my life looks now. My finances are handled. There's no more minimum payments or getting by. My cell phone hasn't been turned off for a decade, which it used to get turned off all the time. I have a thriving business, that I really built one day at a time. And I was there for Emily when she grew up. And, I feel like I can breathe again. And I married the man. Literally, I've been looking for my whole life at 60. Like, I knew who he was. I just couldn't find him, and I think a lot of it was because I was looking for someone to save me. And that's not, and in some ways, Greg did that. He saved me because he's so supportive and he is appreciative of who I am. And I'm appreciative of him as well. But it wasn't I still rely on myself, I guess is the best way to put it. And, it's important to do that no matter what. It really is important to do that. So this is our wedding day. And these are all of our kids, David, Charlie, Emily, Stephen, and Andy. And if you join VA school and you ask me, I'll tell you why we all have on Stan Smith tennis shoes. It's kind of a funny story. All right. So let's jump in. When you're first starting a business as a virtual assistant, it's really easy to get overwhelmed by the mountain of decisions that you think you have to make before working with clients, right? That absolutely happens. And, you're thinking, what kind of bank account do I need? Should I start as a sole proprietor or an LLC? How am I going to take money? Do I need a business card? All of these questions. And sometimes what happens is these decisions just sort of glop on top of each other, and it's impossible to make a decision, because it's almost like your feet are tied, right? Your feet are tied because you're also trying to name your business, and and everything is tied together, right? Until you name your business, you can't get your EIN. Until you get your EIN, you can't get your bank account right? And so it's just this big, giant, overwhelming mass of decisions. And the thing is that I want you to, excuse me, think about is something that I call, it's this sounds so funny, but it makes sense in my own head, the anatomy of a decision. So if you have multiple decisions like that to make, I want you to break them apart. And I want you to look at, make a list, not some giant list, but okay, what are the 5 things I need to do to get my business going? Because the truth is before you start working with clients, there's not that much you really need to do. You need to make sure your computer's turned on. And that's kind of it. But we make it so that we're like, we think we're Sears and Roebuck or something, and we have to do all of these big things before we can start making money, but it's just not true. So I want you to break it down. So for example, let's say, you want to get your business set up legitimately. Okay. So you need to pick a name. Picking a name does not need to take 6 months. It can take a day. You can come to one of our sessions and you can figure it out in an hour or 10 minutes. That happens all the time, right? So think about that. Don't overcomplicate it. Think about something you like, like butterflies or, birds or chickens or, whatever it is, or a color, and, just pull your name together, Bluebird Virtual Solutions. Boom. There you go. See if the URL is available and then move forward, right? Getting your EIN takes a minute, like literally a minute. Calling, you don't even have to go to the bank to set up a bank account. I didn't realize that, but call the bank, set up an account, while you're waiting on hold, read a book, whatever, just chill out. But the point is that each individual thing that you have to do to set up your business is not a big deal if you break it down and stop spinning around all of the things. All right. So the thing is that I know that on top of this, there's a bunch of pressure. So, you have to do, these things. And I also know you're telling yourself, you're not good enough. You're never going to figure this out. Like, why did you even think you were going to be able to run a business? You feel like you're playing office, and your friends might be and your spouse might be looking at you like, what are you doing? Are you going to get any money coming in the door? Or are you just going to swirl around in this, because here's the thing that we do to ourselves. We elongate the period of time something takes. Like, for example, it would be reasonable to take 3 months to build your website. That would be reasonable. No one would say to you, you're a slacker. Or you could decide to do it in a week. You could do it in a weekend. Like, if you just get really focused. And the thing is that tasks expand into the amount of time that we give them. And sometimes when we have all this, what I call chicken chatter going on in our head, we waste a lot of time. We talk about it. We talk about our angst. We talk about, the decisions we have to make. But if we just move through them, it happens a lot more quickly. So I just want to see what Tammy has to say. So Tammy said, someone told me I had to have a website before they would recommend me to other people who were waiting for help. To this day, I have not got one client from her. I'm glad I have my website, but it's not what got me clients. My email newsletter did, and reaching out to the people I already knew. Yeah, exactly. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I know. There's all this like conventional wisdom, telling us you need to do this, and you don't. Yes, it's nice. It's nice. A lot of us want to have all of our ducks in a row, and that's really good. But the thing is, and I don't say this often enough, the business that I built that had the debit card system, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and the newsletter I did right away. I got all my people together and I started my newsletter. I announced my business. 2 weeks later, I did my newsletter. I kept writing my newsletter. Everything else, all the figuring it out that I did, about, sorry, I'm just reading the chat and there's a really good quote I'm going to say in a minute. All of this stuff that we tell ourselves and that other people are telling us it's just not true. So someone says, I heard great advice on the Mel Robbins podcast regarding imposter syndrome. You're not an imposter. You're just a beginner. That's right. And I just remembered what I was saying. It took me probably 5 years to get all my systems in place. 5 years. And you guys are trying to do it in 10 minutes. So it's going to be messy. It's okay. It's really okay. The other thing I want you to stop doing is talking to everybody, meaning your sister-in-law, your brother-in-law, your mom, your dad, whoever, about your business ideas if they don't know what they're doing. The last person I should talk to about running my Rocket Girl business is my husband, my mother, and my brothers. They have no idea, right? They have no idea. So you have to be careful who you talk to and where you get your advice, right? Where you get your advice. Good. Okay. So I'm going to break down some real world examples of things that you guys are telling yourselves. And I know because I was there, before you can start working with clients. All right. So the first thing is, if your debit card system, your payment processing, if you guys don't know what the debit card system is, you can go to, I was just looking at the URL. You can go to the vaconnection.com and click on courses, and you can see the debit card course there. The debit card is getting paid up front, right? So the whole thing is that if you don't have it set up on your website, or you don't have a website, you can set up a Stripe account, which is a merchant account, and create a link and send it to your client and get paid. The whole point of the debit card system is getting paid up front, tracking your time, letting your clients know how much time they have left, and letting them buy more time. That can happen on PayPal, Zelle, right? How you get paid is not important. The key is that you want to be able to get paid. When I first started out, you guys, I took checks. People wrote me checks. I am not kidding. All right. So a lot of things have changed. So don't make it that you have to be all perfect, right? You just want to get paid up front. Now, the other thing is, we don't know how much to charge per hour. All right. So just pick a number. And then I want you to add $10 an hour. Okay. I want you to add $10 an hour, because this is not your forever price. Nothing is in stone. All right. It's not your forever price. So, do not give clients a discount. Do not work for a testimonial. Do not barter unless it's something you need, right? Like you seriously need. You deserve to be paid for your time. And also remember, just because the work is easy for you, it doesn't mean that you can't, it's not valuable to your client. It is. It's very valuable. Okay. So you really want to, pick a number for your hourly rate and just add $10 to it, because you guys are always lowballing. Do not work for $20 an hour. Do not work for $30 an hour. You don't need to do that. You definitely don't need to do that. And some people are going to say, no, that's okay. It doesn't matter. They're not your people. I have had over 600 discovery calls, and I've been hired by 225 people. So that means over, 375 people said no to me. I'm still live. I didn't die from it. Okay. It's not a big deal. Now, let's talk about all the legal stuff. Okay. Yes, you need an EIN. Yes, you need a bank account. You're also going to need to do some research on how to register your business in your community. But that's not a big deal. Call town hall, call city hall. Hi, I'm starting a business. What do I do? And they'll probably say, go to url.com/start a business, whatever. And they'll tell you, you don't have to figure it out. You just have to ask somebody in your town or your city who knows, right? It's not like a creative adventure. It's really laid out. Okay. Now, my first client hired me before I had a business card, a business name, or a website. And like I said, it took me years to create all that. And so I want you to give yourself a break and know that everything doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody is inside your business but you. Okay. You're going to have a lot more fun that way. So let's just look at the comments. Good. Yeah. Tammy says, don't kill my baby. So I want to talk about that. So one of my friends, when we have a new business idea or any idea, we say to each other, okay, I have an idea. Don't kill my baby. And what that means is listen, be gentle. Don't cut the idea down. Don't blow it up. And it's just like, I want to tell someone, but I don't want any advice yet. And I'm telling you, and don't kill my baby, and most of the time the don't kill my baby ideas kind of go away over time. But I'll tell you what, this VA connection community, that was the don't kill my baby. I went to him and said, I have this idea. I'm not sure how to do it, but I'm kind of thinking. And he listened, and it turned into this fabulousness, right? Right. Good. Yes. Good. Yeah. So it's different in every location. Where how you register your business and how you set it up, and you guys are all competent. You're capable of figuring that out. Okay. Good. 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 All right. I'm just looking in the chat. All right. So listen, you guys. Thank you for coming. I'm thrilled you're here. We are closed for business on Thursday. So for all of you who celebrate American Thanksgiving, have a great day and a long weekend. Eat lots of turkey and pumpkin pie. That's what I'm going to be doing. And if you don't celebrate, enjoy the day off. Enjoy the day off and maybe go for a nice long walk, get outside, all the things. So thank you for coming to Lessons from the Cockpit. I'm thrilled you're here. I'm Belinda Sandor signing off. I'll see you next week right back here, same time, same channel. Okay? Bye for now.